Hello! Since our last update, we've added lots of features to Steam Deck that make playing games even better. Here are a few. The in-game screen refresh rate can now be adjusted on the fly anywhere between 40 and 60 Hz. This feature is a game changer for finding that perfect balance between frame rate, game quality, and battery life. Pro tip, we have found that 40 Hz is the sweet spot for responsiveness, consistency, and smoothness. You can enable a lock screen to keep people from picking up your Steam Deck and messing with your games. You can configure it to show on power up, each login, on switching desktop view, or any combination. You can now see the actual percentage remaining in your battery's charge in the header bar. We've added a convenient button to reset your graphics settings back to the Steam Deck defaults. There are now enough individual settings that it can sometimes be hard to keep track of what you've changed. You can now also set graphics options for each game individually. Just toggle the Use Per Game profile setting and your changes will be saved just for that game. We've also added a setting for uncapped frame rate in case you want to let a game run as fast as possible. And you can also reset your per game settings with the click of a button too. SteamOS now has smarter software to control Steam Deck's internal fan, making it more responsive and also quieter in low usage scenarios. And for those of you who prefer the old fan behavior, you can always switch back to that in settings. We're continuing to work on improvements, so let us know what you think. Ever since Steam Deck first shipped, way back in February, you've been able to use Remote Play to stream games to your Steam Deck from another PC. No need to install the game on your deck, just connect to the streaming PC and play whatever's already installed there. Once it's running, the experience of playing the game remotely is the same as playing it locally. But now, as of this update, you can also use Remote Play Together to share your game sessions with friends, letting you both play together as if you were in the same room. There are tons of games that are designed to be played by people looking at the same screen. With Remote Play Together, it's as easy as sending a friend a game invite, and voila, you're playing together. They don't even need to own the game. It's great. We've added lots of new keyboard layouts. The main reason to do that, of course, is for international accessibility. But hey, Dvorak needs love too. Once you've enabled each layout or language, just press the globe button on the virtual keyboard to switch between them. There's now a special pinned area in the friends list for new messages and friend invites. There's also a new page where you can add friends or view all your pending friend invites. The Valve Hardware Survey, which has been part of Steam for many years, now appears on Steam Deck. It lets you opt in to Valve's collection of hardware statistics about all the PCs that connect to Steam worldwide. You can then view the global results. Some games have launcher windows that are a little harder to deal with, and some non-game applications like web browsers regularly spawn lots of windows. So we've added a way to use the Steam Deck's overlay to switch between them. There's a new Steam Deck native view for achievements, which lets you browse your own, or look at the global achievement stats for a game, or even compare your progress to those of another Steam user. There's a new alert that you'll see if you plug in a low-power charger to your Steam Deck, like one that's made specifically for a cell phone. You can do it, we just want you to know that you're in for a bit of a wait. On the Steam Deck home screen, there are now deck-specific recommendations. Kind of a no-brainer. They probably should have been there before. But anyway, there they are. Also on the deck verification front, over 3,000 titles are now rated verified or playable. We've also included some great audio updates and fixes, including a higher max volume, removed white noise from some headphones, and overall stability improvements. Proton 7.0-2 has been released, adding and improving support for a bunch of titles. Hi. Since launching Steam Deck a little over a month ago, we've been adding new features and working hard on software improvements. We're going to highlight some of them in this short video. Recently, we added dual trackpad typing, which lets you type more naturally and quickly than typical on-screen keyboards. You can also use it in desktop mode. In addition to filtering your library, you can now create dynamic collections based on game attributes and tags. Here's a collection of just single-player games. From the home screen activity feed, it's now much easier to navigate directly to a game in your library or a friend's game in the Steam store. Also in the library, we added fast scrolling. Got a ton of games and want to play Quake? You can get there fast. We did a lot of work behind the scenes to make the store faster. I mean, we sped it up in this video, but you get the idea. You can now optimize for battery life by reducing your frame rate all the way down to 15 frames per second. Perfect for visual novels, puzzles, and a lot of simulation games. Or you can open up the advanced perf settings, turn on all the stats, uncap your frame rate, and tinker to your heart's content, if you're into that sort of thing. We added progress info while you're formatting a microSD card. Note that it does not go this fast in real life. There are a bunch of keyboard themes now, so you can pretend you're typing in 1985 or the future. We've refactored the download screen to include a bit more info and also made it easier to read. We added a way for any developer to add a note to their deck verified information. It's a good way for a developer to speak directly to you, the customer, about a game's verification status. When you update your Steam Deck to the latest system software, it now comes with change notes that you can read in place. You can now also report a bug directly from the quick access menu. Very handy. Sliders are 12% fancier now with numerical input and output for things like thumbstick settings. This animation's fun. Oh, and when you're done playing a game, you might get asked to answer questions about how the Steam Deck experience was. With AMD's help, we shipped some Windows device drivers, so you can now install Windows 10 and pretty soon Windows 11. Then you can do Windows stuff. Sometimes it makes sense to set joystick dead zones per game, so we added some pretty deep control over those parameters. You can now also calibrate your dead zone globally, and we added a visualization of that for both left and right thumbsticks. You can also test all of the Steam Deck inputs, including all of its buttons and analog values. It's now possible to individually control the intensity of haptic feedback on both the left and right trackpads. Remember, you can always hold down the Steam button or the quick access menu button to see a handy list of chord commands. We've been working hard to get more and more games through deck verification. We're up to 2,000 titles verified or playable, with more coming every day. We're continuing to collaborate with our development partners to ensure games that include anti-cheat technology play great on deck. We worked with Microsoft to enable xCloud gaming through the Edge browser. Right now, it requires you to jump through some setup hoops, so we plan to make that easier in the future. For more updates, head to SteamDeck.com and click on the News tab. Thanks for watching. Hi there. Since our last update, we've been hard at work on Steam Deck, and we've got 3 pieces of news for you today. Number 1, the official docking station is here. It has 3 USB-A 3.1 ports, a USB-C port for power, display port, HDMI, and a gigabit Ethernet port. The docking station comes with a power supply too, just like the one that comes with Steam Deck. Use it at a desk, under your TV, or wherever you want to use your Steam Deck. It's available now for $89. It's the perfect way to connect your Steam Deck to power, an external display, and a million other peripherals. The official docking station is great for propping your deck up so you can see the screen. But if that's not important to you, you can totally use another USB Docker hub. The work we did on SteamOS for the docking station makes almost all other third-party hubs work well too. Meanwhile, we've been continuing, as always, to ship software updates to Steam Deck, adding features and fixing bugs. To name a few, we've added new features for the docking station and other peripherals. There are new settings for scaling, resolution, and refresh rate, and added compatibility for displays, audio, and more. We've added on-screen keyboard support for simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. We've also made big improvements to touchscreen and trackpad typing and responsiveness, both in gaming and desktop mode. We've redesigned 2 Steam input power features. Virtual menus let you invoke branching sets of commands in more complicated games, and mode shifting lets you remap your controls while you hold a button down. Offline mode has also been improved to make it much more stable and reliable. We'd love to hear from you about whether it's meeting your expectations. And the third item is our biggest news. Steam Deck is available now, finally, without a reservation. It's been more than a year since we first announced Steam Deck. Wow, time flies. Since day one, everyone has had to get in line and wait just to order one. Supply chain issues kept us from producing Steam Decks fast enough to meet demand. But now, even though the rate of reservations keeps growing, we've been able to increase our manufacturing volume to meet demand. As of today, you no longer need to make a reservation for a Steam Deck. And if you hold an existing reservation, your Steam Deck order email is on its way. Of course, depending on how fast the orders come in, we might have to start taking reservations again, but we hope we can keep up. We are starting to take reservations in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. We recently went to Tokyo and brought a giant Steam Deck with us, which was very fun. As always, thank you so much. We'll see you again next time.